the music of Latin America is the product of many people, right? There's no such a thing as music from Latin America. There's music from Argentina, music from Chile, right? And they are different and they are diverse in itself. But to give you a very short music history when the Europeans arrived to the Americas, they encounter developed cultures here, right? The Aztecs, the Mayans, the Incas in South America, and they already had musical instruments and they already had melodies, right? Modal, pentatonic melodies, and they had percussion instruments. And the Europeans come, they bring their traditions, which is very diverse in itself, right? Because it depended from what region of Spain you would come, you would also bring a different tradition. And they would bring their instruments, like the guitar, for example. So what happened is that from these encounters, new forms started coming out. That's how folk music starts developing. And later on, the Africans are brought to the Americas. They're forced to come. You know, this is is considered like one of the biggest migrations, forced migrations in the history of the world. And this is a very interesting detail, is that from the people that came from Africa during the slavery trade, only 5% of those Africans ended up in the United States. Okay, the rest ended up all through Latin America, Brazil, Cuba, Puerto Rico, everywhere, because they made it everywhere. So obviously, they also had a big influence in the development of all these music forms that developed in Latin America. Then when I talk about Latin America, I like to refer, I learned also that instead of countries, I like to refer to regions. Because, for example, between Venezuela and Colombia, there's a similar culture because they share the plains. There's a big, vast plains. So the culture is very similar. The music is similar. Some of the instruments they use are exactly the same. So it's easier when we talk about Latin American music to refer to regions. And I'm going to start with one of my favorite, in terms of music, one of my favorite is the region of the Andes. You see Machu Picchu there. You know, I'm sure some of you have visited that area, and it's really magical, isn't it? It's amazing. So some of the characteristics from this region are that there's a stronger Native American influence for the reasons that I was telling you, right? They had a very strong, the Incas, they had a very developed culture. And so they had their instruments, and many of their melodies very pentatonic, more modal, right? And they had very clear patterns, such as this that you see there, that shows it boom, 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 or ta 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 ta. You know, they move very in one song, in one song, they move from minor to major modes very easily. You're going to notice that in the next song that we're going to be actually singing together. And so knowing and being familiar with these instruments sometimes is important, because you are going to find in choral arrangements, you are going to find imitations, you know, like onomatopeyas, and then you can say, oh, this could be, you know, probably could be imitating a bombo. Or so let's look at the instruments right there. You can see the tiny guitar, that's the charango. So we were talking about new forms, right? That new folk forms that developed. Well, the same thing happened with the instruments. So you are going to find different types of guitars all through Latin America. You've seen the mariachis, how many sizes of guitars they have in the mariachi band, right? So the charango is the one I would call it, to me, it's like the Andean guitar. It has 5 double strings. It has a very treble sound, and you wouldn't, well, let me see if I get her name here. Shelad, what was your name? I cannot see your name now because he's. So you, the one who said this is a charango. I'm sure that you know what did they use to make the body of the armadillo. I
Yeah.
mean, I just gave it up. They would use the shell of the armadillo animal to make the body of these guitars because that's what they had available, right? So they would use wood, but they would use the shell of the armadillo. So it's really fascinating. You can see the ocarina here, right? You can see palm pipes. So let's just sing a little bit. This is a part of an arrangement of a folk song that I did for children chorus. And you know, you can, on your lap, you can do the rhythmic pattern. Ta, 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 ta. It's very simple. You're just going to do. Sorry. This feels so high for me today. That's how you're singing, or you're singing the altos. Okay, so pick one and sing. And while you sing that, I will sing something else. 1, 2, ready, sing.